Hi. So once you have this complete list of on the Capex, that amount that is required and the amount that you are willing to pump in or you have already pumped in will give some confidence levels to an investor that yes, you have done your due diligence. Let me explain it to you with furthermore examples that would be much easier for you to get it across. Now, for example, if you want to start your own video production firm, you cannot start a complete unit at one go. But at the same time, when you get started on with it, you need to have some basic minimum gadgets which are up to the date mark in technology, which will also ensure that you get in some business. It would be like buying a camera of a Sony or Canon, which is very good and of updated technology will be very essential. You cannot just come up with a thought process, okay, fine, let me buy a normal phone and then start my business as a video production company. No, it is not going to happen, because the moment you get into a client and the first client says no, you will automatically get into your own cocoon of or a shell which says that will bring down your morale. So when you are writing the Capex, please ensure that you have also pumped in some amounts which will give clarity to investor that yes, you are a serious person. Now what happens in other ways is, if you are just asking in for the amount required for expansion and you have not pumped in a single NP, one way you can call it as I'm seeking idea funding. Remember, idea funding is of a very low choice, or very chances are the investor coming on board is very low, because everyone would like to know how serious are you, and the seriousness comes only when you pump in funds. Otherwise, it would be like an imaginative an idea which you want to put across and raise funds. Yes, few people have been successful in that also. So that is where the saying always goes, there is no time or a right time for raising funds. Any time is a good time for raising funds. So always be prepared with your business plan, because you never know when you get an opportunity to meet an investor. Okay, now when it comes to Capex, let me also explain to you with one more segment. If you are planning to set up your own labels or your clothing boutique, you will also have to keep in mind that you will have to figure out from where the materials are going to be brought in and at what cost, and the basic initial designs that you will have to do it in order to showcase for the customers to get started on with. So what happens here is, there is a fund that goes out from your side which automatically brings in the seriousness. That is what an investor wants to know when he looks at your sheet of investment on Capex, and specifically the component of amount invested by the promoter. For example, if you are setting up a store or a restaurant, initial investments you will have to put it across from your end. It should not be too small or too big, because that will again give clarity to investor that you are just trying to test things. Yes, when it is all about setting up only the MVP component, you can get into the thought process of let me test the water with only one leg, which is absolutely right, because you don't have to test with both the feet, because we all know when you test it with both the feet, you either sink or you either stand. So keeping these things in mind, when you are setting it up, ensure that your Capex component is very well laid out for the amount that are going to be required. Now also, you will also have to keep in mind that when you are setting up this Capex, it should have enough amount of space. Like for example, if you are setting up a software company, minimum you need to have at least 4 to 5 people. Fine, you can reduce the cost by saying I'll provide them bean bags, so that they can work on through that rather than giving them the chairs or a proper furniture. Fine, that is good enough, because that will also ensure creativity comes out from the existing initial co-founders. But beyond a certain point, if you keep on continuing it in the same way, it leads to further more problems, because your work or the quality of work that is required to hit the market will slowly start taking in too much of time, which also ensures you have a competitor coming on board. So to summarize it, the first sheet is the Capex component, which is the amount required for setting up even before you start, where it has amount invested by the promoter, that is you, to give clarity to an investor how serious are you about the business and what is it that you have brought onto the table and for how long have you come across and from what is the amount that now you are planning to raise. It is like having a two-wheeler wherein you have shown the existence of the demand for deliveries, having shown how it is worked in, and now seeking another funds for buying another 25 vehicles. So that is how the overall summary in a Capex component needs to come in. Thank you.